to another episode of Film and Business. Today, my guest is Tyler M. Reid, a filmmaker, educator, and creative who spent the last 20 years making things, teaching, producing, and figuring out as he goes. His career has taken him across the US, India, and Sweden, working on features, reality, TV, music, videos, live events, documentaries, and commercials. Tyler also launched the 48-hour film project in Savannah, taught media at college in India, and has a deep understanding of screenwriting, producing, and what it takes to keep showing up as creative. In this episode, Taylor and I do a live demo of Ramiro AI. We walk through what filmmakers need to package their films, why your audience is the very first thing you need to know, and how to make marketing easy and fun, even if you're not a marketeer. We even take a look at Tyler's pitch deck, build a simple finance plan, and show how Ramiro AI can help you take your project from idea to audience. And as a bonus, we are giving away a free marketing template with prompts ready to use with AI. So you can start working on your film strategy right away. Hi, my name is Rosa Camero. I am a film producer and CEO and founder of Ramiro AI, a film marketing and distribution assistant powered by AI. Thank you for being here. So welcome, Tyler. Thank you. Thank you for today, for joining us.
I'm excited.
Yes, from idea to audience. So I found this title interesting because you actually help filmmakers to actually get their idea, their film idea funded. So tell us first who you are, what you do, where you're based, and then we'll start from there.
Yeah, Tyler. I'm based in Sweden, but I'm from the US. My background is quite broad. I've worked in music videos, reality TV, live events, commercials, films. I've worked in the audio department to on the grip, casting, all in between. And also everything I've studied has been in film. So a Master's of Fine Arts, undergraduate degree in filmmaking. So everything's always been film related. I've lived in the US, lived in India, lived in Sweden, and each of those places. Also worked in media entertainment in some capacity. But in the last 10 years, I've lived in Sweden, and I've worked between being a production manager, a producer. I worked for a film financing company, and now I'm sort of back out on my own again. I have a producing partner. One of the things we do, we have a couple elements we do, but one of the main things we do is we try to find interesting projects and connect them with financing. So we're kind of like EP brokers in a way, in that regard. And then we try to find just a couple interesting projects. We come on very much on the development side of things, and actually be development producers and get those projects really going through the pipeline. So that's our main focus, and that's where I'm at now. It's a very, very brief, broad overview there, but so you can ask specific questions about any of those elements I just said there, if you're curious about any of those.
So tell me, when people want to work with you and they approach you, what do they need to get ready? Like, it's not like, hey, like many filmmakers, they come and say, I have a film idea, it's amazing. I mean, it's gonna change the world. And this is the kind of like the unique idea that you have never seen before. So,
right. So a lot of times when people reach out to me, most of the time it's because we are always at the moment we're taking a pause on it, but we were looking for projects to help connect with financing, but now we have quite a broad slate. But a lot of the financing entities we work with are sort of capital funds and not sort of individual high net worth investors. So because of that, our needs are much more specific than if you're going to go after just high net worth investors. So when we have packages for like a capital fund, they need to have a lot of things already in place. Primarily, they need to have a producer attached. They need to have a director, a script. They need to already be talking to sales agents and figuring out what their distribution strategy is going to be. Preferable if they have already conversations with cast happening, because those are the things that already need to be in place before any type of institutional investor would be interested in even looking at a project. And since we don't come in as development producers to bring those things aboard, they already kind of have to be attached. Now, when we are the projects we have said yes to as sort of like the sort of term that people know as producer, an actual producer taking an idea or a script. We have a couple of those, and they just came by chance and just conversations, more of connections than anything else. And then those are projects that are in active development. So the one we're going to talk about today is a project in active development. Two writers brought it to us, but they already did a lot of legwork anyway. They had got some cast attached and interested in. They got other producers interested in it. So there was quite a bit of development already in place anyway. So that's where the focus is. So anyone that just has a script, it's just that's just not what my partner and I do. We're not in that stage of producing. We want to see other things attached already in place.
So to be specific, because I always tell filmmakers, we need to package your film. Like we need to have a package, we need to have a strategies on place, and this means having a business plan, a marketing plan, a distribution plan, a pitch deck. And a pitch deck, I always say, is a summary of all these things that you already have completed and have it in, and then you have it in your pitch deck. Is there anything else that you can think of that might help them to actually get into these funds and to these kind of investment ventures?
Yeah, well, I mean, those kind of pitch decks need, I mean, it needs to be very financing focused. I mean, pretty much what is it going to cost to make and how's it going to make money? I mean, just like anything else, just like any other small business or tech startup or anything, you need to understand what it's going to cost to make your product and then also how you will take it to market and it'll make money. And you need to truly understand what that means. So the budget needs to match the film, and then that needs to match the market value. So, what are those types of film? How are those films being sold, and where are they being sold, and how much money are they generating, and who is, what's cast in it, and what's their market value, and how much do they cost, and so all those variables kind of need to already be in place before you are speaking with any kind of investors because investors have 1,000 different assets they can look at, right? But there's so many different interesting assets out there. So you are not only competing with other filmmakers, but you're competing with other types of financial assets that already exist in the market, from real estate to tech startups to anything else. So that's the thing. Like, what is it that is going to convince an investor that your film is worth pursuing? And then same thing it goes with institutional investors. They may only be focusing on just films or TV series, but again, they're not investing in 100 projects a year. They may only be investing in 3 or 5, depending on the size of the fund. So, you're again, in that case, you're probably competing against 600 other projects who are also as equally as strong as yours. So you need to ensure that everything is in order for them to look at that project and understand and I mean, as in this case, I mean, it's all about the finances, right? It's not about creative. And so especially when you go to capital funds, I mean, it's just about what is the return? Is this going to work? Does this make financial sense?
Exactly. I always say you're not reinventing the wheel. I mean, somebody else already did something similar to you, and that's why you need to find who is a competitive. We talk about competitive in the business plan and also in the distribution plan. That's where you compare your film to other films, and it's like, yeah, I'm sorry to say it, but your film is not special, especially when when no one knows that film. So, what do you think? What can you tell us to make that film that they feel that is very, very special, to compel others, to convince them that actually it is worth investing in that film, not in others. Besides everything you have said, it's like the pitch. Yeah, the pitch, the elevator
Yeah,
pitch.
well, I
How
mean,
do
if
you
you're going
say?
after like high net worth investors, I mean, some of the things too. I mean, this doesn't really work with capital funds, but the high net worth investors, you can kind of play a little bit more with, the non-tangibles. So that could be like you can visit set, you get to have your name in the credits. This the more of the glamour aspects of being involved in the film. Sort of, it's an interesting asset class. It's a little bit different, and then it gives them kind of a play in a world that they probably wouldn't have normal access to. So that's always fun. You can do, when you're doing with individual investors, you can kind of play with the glamour side, the non-tangibles. It all depends on the investor, though. They may not care at all. Um, But institutional investors, they don't care about that at all because they are only looking at the film as an asset, right? And that's what they're most interested in. So, uh, you know, to to just come prepared and stand out the best way you can. A lot of times, you're going to already need to have something in place. So maybe some pre-sales already in place. Maybe there's some NGs. You already have the tax credit application approved, or at least pre-approved, so you can use that as collateral. So there's some different other financial assets can already be in place prior to going to a capital fund. They're going to want to see other instruments of financing in place.
Do you have any success stories, or either success story that you can find, or like a terrible experience that you can think of, and you say, like they shouldn't do this, or they should do this
Well,
instead?
every film that has ever been made is a success story. I mean, if it's been made, it's a success.
It is true.
So, I
It
mean,
is
that's
true.
the thing because, what is it, like a million screenplays registered with the WGA, something like, I mean, my producing partner was a former commissioner for a streaming service, and just, in a year, he saw 600 pitches, and they greenlit 3 projects. So, so anytime any film that's made, even if it's a $250,000 film, that's a success. So, and just because a film didn't get made when you tried, it doesn't make it a failure. There sometimes things just don't line up. And again, it's competing against with all other kinds of films. There's no true right way. There's no exact blueprint. Otherwise, I mean, every film would get made. So it's always a challenge, and there's always so many variables that are out of your control, of why something will succeed and not. Maybe the market at the time isn't ready for that film. Maybe the investors just decided to invest in something else, or there's so many other variables. So the best thing is just to be completely prepared as possible. Otherwise you're not going to get a yes, and otherwise it's not going to get made. So just, I mean, in the development stage, just have as much prepared as possible, especially for funding investors. Even if it's just $150,000 film, and you're just you're going to do piece of it crowdfunding, and piece of it some sponsors, and 30,000 from high net worth investors. Still, 30,000 is a lot of money to people. So you just want to make sure that you come very prepared, and that's where success comes in.
Yes, I mean, I completely agree. I mean, just making a film, it's just making a film, funding the film, making the film, and then getting it to release, and getting it to different markets. It's just, that's a win
Yeah,
itself. And then
yeah,
making
exactly.
money,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then
I mean,
making money with it.
yeah, and even if it doesn't, I mean, at least, I mean, there's like 2 steps to success. The first step is just getting your film made. I mean, that's huge success. Then, of course, the second step, which is obviously very important, is for it to at most, I mean, at least try to make a return on its investment. I mean, on its principal, and then a return on the investment itself.
Yes. So before we start our marketing plan, so like building our marketing plan, so tell us what would be that advice that you will that you would share with filmmakers connected here, and they're gonna watch the recording, and also it's gonna be a podcast, gonna be a YouTube channel. So it's like, what is that one piece of advice that you will give them?
One piece of advice. That's hard. Um,
Okay, like 2 or 3
I don't
if
know.
you have.
I don't know. But love what you're doing because this is a hard business. And if you're not passionate about actually getting a film made and really wanting to do it, then don't even pursue it because it's going to be full of heartbreak. So if come in passionate, and the likelihood that your film will succeed or even get made is small. So have 15 projects. As many as professional screenwriters will say, it's like write a dozen scripts that are terrible, and then write another dozen scripts that are okay, and then write another dozen scripts that somebody actually reads, and then I'll write one script that finally sells. And it's like after 70 scripts, it's like, okay, you have a career as a screenwriter. Same thing with any kind of just getting your movies made. So keep climbing up that hill with your project, but also it's okay, but know that that project may not succeed, and go ahead and be thinking about your next one. And the great thing is for every one film that gets made, there's 100 that don't, and all those sort of failures have so many sort of lessons in it. So take like what what you think was working, and then add that to your new package, and take what wasn't working and take it out of your new package, and just keep learning along the way. So I don't know if there's one piece of advice. That's a lot of damn advice, but but enjoy it. Enjoy the journey because it's hard.
This is really, really good advice. And actually, one of my clients that actually is connected here, he asked me because he is in development with his film, and then he was, well, I have another idea, and I don't know if I should start it. You kind of feel that you need to finish what you started because that's what they taught us in school, right? So you need to finish that film, and then you need to pass on. But it's like I said, you put it in a very beautiful way, that you need to have different projects, that you need to have different, I mean, that's okay, it's okay to have
Yeah, yeah,
different
yeah,
projects, it's
yeah.
okay to have different stages in different projects, and no one's going to judge you because
No,
that's the way
exactly, exactly.
creativity works.
And if they say no to one thing, they may say yes to the other thing. They're like, well, we're not really interested in this kind of project. We're like, well, actually, I do also have this thing. And they're like, oh, well, that's not, so you can, when you have a couple projects, I mean, don't never pitch like three different projects at the same time. Pitch the one thing. But if you have other things readily available, that's always very good.
Yeah, you can offer, like, if okay, if you don't like this, but maybe I have this one. Yeah, so also it's the art of pitching, right? Like what to
Yeah.
pitch, how to pitch it, and when to jump with all the other things that you have line up. So it's not like, okay, he or she doesn't know what's going on, like suffering too much. So we're gonna start. So Tyler has a very exciting film that we're gonna work on today. Do you want to talk about the pitch deck before we jump into it and show the pitch deck? So and then we start building
Yeah,
the marketing
sure.
plan.
The project was created by two writers, Andreas Anderson and Jeff Allen. They also created the pitch deck. They did a wonderful job. And then also Andreas Anderson is kind of a producer too. I mean, even though he has no producing credits, he actively acts like one. That's a great thing too. Just because you have no producer credit doesn't mean you're not a producer. I mean, if you're trying to get a film made, you're a producer, right? So he got a lot of great. He reached out to agents and cast, and he got a lot of cast interested in the project, and so it's still in very active development at the moment. Now the project came our way. He just reached out to me as well, and had quite a bit attached. So so it's an action film, and also this is really interesting. Development is a slow process, and new writers usually want it to be a fast process, but it's not. I mean, development can take quite a few years. And so they decided to turn their screenplay into a book to help sort of have more IP around the project, which is very valuable. So that will help it can help it at least move forward faster with development. So we're in very active development. I can't say a lot. There's a few things I can't talk about, but I'll do the best I can to talk about what I can say. But we can
Perfect.
share the pitch deck because I have already shared the pitch deck. Some things
Okay.
may have
So
changed, but I can't say anything. Yeah. So we'll just pretend what we see is where it's at the moment.
yeah, this is the. Can you see my screen? I'm
I
sharing
can see
right
your
now.
screen. I'm sure everyone else
Okay.
can. I can see it, so I'm sure
Okay.
everyone else can.
Perfect. So also it's called Sundown, the film. So this is the log line that we're gonna use it for the marketing plan. It's when a corrections officer is forced into early retirement because of these violent ways, he finds himself bored and alone on his farm. But he is soon visited by a shadowy figure from his past who is hell-bent on finding justice. Then we have the summary. This is the synopsis. Then we have a quote, and we have Ernie Hudson as Gordon, like a very renowned actor. Then we have the badass. It's Michael J. White. We have Kevin, Isaiah Washington. Then we have Nancy, Killian White. The warden, Sam J. Jones. Chris, Tom Berenger. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it well. Fred is Peter Stormer. Big Bob, Steven Root. And we have a dog here. Super cute. Then we have locations. We have the things that you need to take into account when you have the pitch deck. So we have where you're going to shoot, the mood. We have the mood board, different pictures. It's not loading. So we have mood board, the comms. Comms, this is very important. We talk about the competitive, really, but we're gonna use it also for the marketing plan. But who is like, what are the films that actually are related or are like similar to the film that you want to make? So you know more or less how much money actually made. And actually, I promoted Old Boy. We didn't have this also, it's important to say the marketing materials, depending on the territory, are different. So there are posters that maybe you might see in the US, but you might not see in Scandinavia. So it's marketing materials also can be very broad. Then we have executive summary, and yeah, we have the cast that you have already seen it, the team. So we have the great producer. We have a producer, the story time, and then contact. Contact information is super important. So if people want to contact you. So this is the story that we're gonna build a marketing plan on today. So stop sharing my screen. And you have access to a template actually. So if you can share the template, Daddy, I think you have the link. If not, I have it here. So we have a template that I have built with prompts. So you can actually build your own marketing plan here with us. And you also have access to Ramiro AI for 1 month. So we have a coupon if you want to join and you want to do the live demo with your own film live here. So you get to ask questions. And then you have 1 month to follow up and, just to keep working on your film. We're going to do like a very simple marketing plan because we cannot then it will be like a couple of hours together. And I thought like Tyler needs to go and we have lives to live as well. But you can play with the tool and explore. So I'm going to talk a little bit about Ramiro AI. Tyler and I, we met a few months ago. So we talk about a tool that it's an assistant that helps filmmakers with film marketing and distribution. So I came up with this idea in 2024 because I said AI, I didn't know anything about AI, but AI was like everyone was talking about. The same thing I think now is like a trend. So I said, I think we can do the work of a sales agent or a distributor with AI because AI has all the answers, right? So like, if not, it invents the answers, or of course you need to do your research. But if it has the answers, if it has knowledge, I think we can have something like this. And I got accepted into a mentorship program in Denmark. I am originally from Mexico, but I live in Denmark like the last 8 years, and I've been living in Europe for the past 11 years. So I know very well the European panorama in films. And I got accepted in this mentorship program. We developed Ramiro AI. And Ramiro AI is, at the moment, is a chat, an AI agent that help you with strategy. We have already images. I think when we talked, Tyler, we didn't have images. Now it can generate images, and now it can actually read images. All this, you might say, is a very simple chat, but it's not. There's a lot of tech behind it. So we have to find the vectors. We are using another tool that actually got funded for $25 million very recently, a Canadian company. So we're using that technology behind Ramiro AI. So, and then we are implementing all things. We are looking for investment at the time. We're in seed stage. And everything I'm doing around Ramiro AI is to help filmmakers to actually get their films fund and seen and distributed in different territories. So this is the first stage 1. We have different stages, and the final stage, we would love to duplicate this tool into other creative areas and in the creative world. So it's the same problem have authors, designers, and so it will be great that they can sell their work and market the work in a way that feels easy for them. So that's what we'll be doing and building with Ramiro AI. And you're gonna see it in action today. You can use the microphone. Actually, the first time I have a live demo, like a couple of months ago, we didn't have the microphone. Now you can use the microphone. Still, there are things missing, and we're working on it. But as you know, I think startups are very similar to films. It's like we need the money to make things happen, and startups is the same way. We need the money to make fast or have fast results, and right now we're doing it with the resources that we have. But I'm not happy because filmmakers, I'm using it, and we're having these kind of collaborations, and I'm having great feedback. I think it's needed. It's just finding the early adopters and finding that people that believe in the tool. Like, thank you, Tyler, for being here, for believing in this tool, for believing that we can help the world with more technology. I really appreciate it because I know the film world and the film industry can be very conservative in that end. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so we have, this is Ramiro. This is Ramiro AI. And this is a website. And then when you log in, you just need to go here. So it is Ramiro AI. And this is our friend. So it's, here it is. You can actually, when I created, it didn't save information. Now it does. So actually you open the chat, and whatever you are in your film, whatever you are with your strategies, you can go back to it unless that you restart. So we're gonna restart this chat. And actually, as you see, this is in Spanish. So actually has 72 languages that support. So you don't only need, you can also do strategies and plans in different languages. If English is not your main language or your mother tongue, you can use it in your own language. So that's another thing that we have implemented in Ramiro. So we're gonna restart here. And we're gonna and then we're gonna go to our template. This is a template that we have. Make a copy. I'm not gonna give you access to it because that's the one I'm using, but make a copy and save it either in your computer or in your own drive. So you can do that and just go here to file, and then you can either download, so you can have in different versions, or you can make a copy and then you save it in your own drive. So this is a template that I have done for these kind of sessions. So please don't distribute it, don't sell it. This is for your personal use and your films. And here we go. So this is a marketing strategy, 5 steps. I think the most important when we are creating a strategy for a film is to know your audience. We don't think about your audience until it's finished. We don't know what it is. We don't like, oh yeah, but who's your audience? Everyone. No, you cannot go to everyone. It's not doable. It's difficult, and you cannot sell the same to a kid than to a 35 years old woman. So you really need to be specific. Also in the age. Can you imagine, like, if you're selling something and then you say it's for everyone, and then you want to target teenagers, but you also want to target their parents? It's like they don't like the same things. You won't find them in the same places. So then your marketing strategy or your marketing campaign, it will be broad, and then you need a lot of money. I mean, that's something else. Like, you need a lot of money if you have like a very broad audience. So it's better to go like a specific, knowing who is your audience, and then you need your audience to know to create your business plan, to create your marketing plan, to create your film distribution plan. So all these things that Tyler talked about, like, what are the things that I need from you to sell the film? Like, start with your audience. That's where you need to start. So that's the most important. So I have two prompts here. So we're gonna use this prompt in Ramiro, and then we're gonna copy paste the synopsis. So I'm gonna go here. Then insert. And then help me identify target audience for, is a thriller, Tyler? Or what would you think it is? Is a thriller?
Yep, thriller, exactly.
For a thriller film that explores what themes or topics it explores?
I would stick with, let's just say redemption. Let's keep it kind of, I'm curious about keeping it sort of broad and see what happens.
Well, just I'm gonna just do it like this. Theme that explores for a thriller. Then let's see. So what happens is I'm gonna share this, and then what happens with Ramiro is that it will start asking questions. He asks a lot of questions, and that's the way I work as well. So Ramiro AI is knowledge base in my knowledge, because I've been working in the film industry for around 17 years in the film marketing and distribution. So behind Ramiro, there's like a lot of information about my experience, the way I work, my templates, the way I think, and the way I do things. And then from there, Ramiro, if he doesn't find that information in those documents, then it goes to the internet. But it's very similar. Like the information needs to match to what the knowledge it's fed on. It needs to match. Okay. So to help identify the target audience for your thriller, could you provide more details? For example, what is the intended age group for the audience? Are there specific themes or elements you want to emphasize in the marketing? Do you have any geographical cultural preference for the audience?
Great. So I would say 18 to 34. I mean, redemption and action would be interesting to emphasize in the marketing. And geographically, cultural preferences. I mean, I would say any Western country. So for the most part. So
But
I mean,
is this
go ahead.
it's a co-production between Sweden and the US, or it's only US?
Right now, it's still early development, so there's no co-pros or anything like that in place. You're asking on the financing, or you're asking on the actual production end? Right now, it doesn't
No.
matter. It's still so early development, so it's still. I mean, it would most likely be filmed in the U.S.
Okay. So I'm asking this because I always say that you should start from local to global. So we want to go to all the territories, but each territory is different, especially for the
Yeah,
cultural and the language. And so if we start from in the US, and then from there we'll
yeah,
start with the US because that's broad enough.
yeah, yeah, yeah. U.S.,
Uh,
U.K., and U.S., U.K., Germany. This is the main markets, main
okay,
territories.
perfect. Are there any specific things you already said that, but I'm just gonna see. Let's see. I didn't ask, but just answer in the chat if you use AI, because I didn't ask that question. And what we doing today is very basic. I mean, it's the prompts are not very specific, but because I want to, if you're not using AI enough, then this is where you will start. But if you are like a pro, so tell me if you are and what the tools you use. Okay, so thank you for sharing the details. Based on the age group, 18 to 34, and regions USA, UK, Germany, the target audience for your thriller could include young adults and millennials who enjoy gritty, character-driven stories, fans of redemption arcs, suspenseful thrillers, and action-packed narratives, viewers interested in themes like justice, resilience, and personal transformation. Would you like me to explore a marketing strategies? Okay, yes. I want you to tell me. or describe me. I want you to describe the ideal person for this film. Name it and tell me their interest and where to find them. And to describe the ideal person for this film, could you clarify if you want a fictional persona or general demographic description? Specific persona and mention the demographic description. So I like to do this because instead we always talk about an audience. We always talk about who is the audience, what are they doing, like who is the audience. But the audience can be many people. It can be from 1 to 1,000 to 100,000 to. So here you have something specific. So you have Alex. He is 28, lives in Los Angeles, US, but similar persona can be found in urban areas of the UK and Germany. And then, what is the interest? Enjoys gritty, character-driven thrillers and psychological dramas, follows directors like Denis Villeneuve and Christopher Nolan, loves stories with interventions, arcs, suspense, and morally complex characters, regularly attends film festivals and in the cinema screenings, engage when film relates content on platforms like Reddit, Instagram, and Letterboxd. I have to say that lately I've been doing these demos and finding the audience. It comes up more and more Reddit. Like I think Reddit is a good place to actually talk about your films and having like another social media platform that we need to add into our slate of different social media platforms. And then where to find them? Online, active on Reddit, Instagram, and YouTube, following film analysis channels. Offline, attends film festivals, indie cinemas, and local cultural events. And then this, so what we're gonna do is to copy paste into our document. So we copy paste, we have it here. So now you have your persona. So now you have your target audience here. It has a name, it has an age. And then we have an example. In the template, I did an example and I used Draft Day from 2014. This is one of the films that I promoted many years ago. And it's Kevin Costner and I don't remember the actress, but also she's very famous. So then where do you find your target audience? And then I already gave us some information here, where to find them, but I want to go in depth. So I want to know, and why do we want to know where to find the target? Like where do we find our audience? It's because this is the places that you need to focus to create a marketing campaign. So if you're posting on Facebook, and then as you see here, it didn't even mention Facebook here. So it's like you're doing it wrong already. So that's not a place to find your target audience. So let's get in depth in where to find them. This is step number 2. Yes, if you do, I couldn't delete all these things, but well, I think yeah, it got the prompt well. Okay, so Alex, so we have online, Reddit, Instagram, YouTube, Letterboxd, offline, film festivals, indie cinemas, and cultural events. So these are the places where we can find them. It sounds very general, but the way you do it, we don't have the time to do it now, but the way you should do it is to go in depth into each one of them. Okay, Reddit, you can try and see which forums in Instagram, like who to follow, in YouTube, which YouTubers they talk about it. So you can go in depth in each one of the places that you find it. And then we have marketing ideas. Now we have the target. Now we have the audience. Now we have the prompt. And because you already talk about the film, you already have the information, you just need a prompt to You just need the prompt to find the next the following information. Now that we have the target and where to find Alex, just gonna delete this. Going to find Alex. What do you suggest as marketing ideas for this film? We can go from very simple to bold and crazy ideas. Then we share these. And then we have different marketing ideas from very simple social media campaigns, teaser trailer, film blogs and reviews, creative ideas, interactive content, behind the scenes clips, bold ideas, immersive experience, pop-up events, social media role play. So what do you think, Tyler, about the marketing ideas?
Yeah, I like it a lot. I mean, I like that there's a few things that are, yeah. I like the interactive content and I like the immersive aspects too. So I like that it's kind of giving you sort of outside of the box concepts, which is nice. And some of these, which is cool too, wouldn't be that costly, but could have really strong engagement. And that helps really to build word of mouth, which I feel like is one of the greatest marketing tools that is free. So if you can, especially with these immersive experiences and pop-up events, if you can get somebody there and interested, they'll talk about that film. You know, even if maybe they're not, they'll talk about even the event or what they experienced, even if they weren't so maybe into the idea of the film, but they enjoyed that experience. So that's great. That's great word of mouth marketing.
Yes. And also remember that you need to start your marketing like very early, in a very early stage. If you're already in development, start promoting and start talking about it. It's better to start 2 years in advance and then you are building your community instead of going all in 2 months before the release, because that doesn't work. I mean, that you can see that with blockbusters because they have millions of dollars and still like yet some films they flop. I mean, Madame Web, we can see that last year, like it didn't go really, really well. It had a lot of marketing and people got disappointed. I mean, they were really, really like upset that the film was really bad. And so better to have like a very engaged community. And this is what comes to the number 4 a step, that's building your audience. Building your audience means that you have gathered your audience in one place. This means that you don't open social media profiles for each one of the films that you have. Like I know someone invented that, and now you think that each one of the films needs to have social media. But if it's your first one, it's very easy. But if you have 10 films and 10 different social medias, but not only like you have Facebook, Instagram, and you have a LinkedIn page, and then you have for each one of the films you have 4 social media platforms. It's just crazy. You cannot like not even I don't think like social media managers can handle so many profiles at the same time. So it's time consuming, and you are not a marketeer. Like you are not. This is not your main job. So make that job easy for you. That make the marketing like easy for you. That feels like yes, it's gonna be a stretch, but it's not gonna be like I need to spend a lot of time in the computer, like doing all these things. Besides, I have all these films that I need to that is in development, that I need to do this and I need to do that. So like make marketing and the business side of films like easy for you, and concentrate everything in one place. Concentrate everything, and whatever you're good at it, just do it. Of course, you need to learn. I mean, I'm not saying that this is like out of your comfort zone completely, and that's okay. That's okay for the brain. And so what I suggest is you start building a newsletter, for example. So you have a database, your website, you are the brand. I always say you are the brand and your films are your products. So you are the one that needs to be surrounded by all these projects. So you need to have a website, either your production company or you as a personal brand. And then you have landing pages for your different films. And then from there, in your own social media, you can start promoting the different films, and you can start promoting the different projects that you have. It doesn't matter. I mean, you think that you need to separate the audience, but actually no, because many people is following you as a creative and as a producer, as a director. So if they like you, they will follow your films. And then from there, you can, when you have money and when you have the marketing sorted out and you have the budget, then you can have the audience. So your post won't be seen by everyone. So you can target the audience and you can have the target that is like exactly for the film. So you can segment the audiences in social media, digital marketing. That if you want something bigger, like in the offline world, like bosses, and then you cannot control that. So we're gonna build your audience, and I'm gonna just copy paste this prompt here. Give me ideas of how to start building the audience for this film. And then to give you the best ideas, could you tell me more about your film? You already have the information. Okay, he's right. I might not have the specific details about your film. Could you confirm the general target audience? Target audience, you have it. You have it. It's the persona we built before. And the film is in development. Like, for example, here, I would like to add the actors. I would like to add who are the actors that are, because I think that could be like a very good, but we don't have a lot of time. We need to leave soon. Thriller. This is what I'm suggesting. Okay. Okay, then we have here, we have, since you finished a thriller and still in development, are some audience building ideas to get started. Teaser content, share behind the scenes, photos or short suspenseful clips to intrigue your audience. Social media campaigns, create polls or quizzes about thrillers, tropes to engage your target audience, collaborations, partner with thriller bloggers or influencers to build buzz, and community engagement. Again, you can go with each one of these, like a very deep, specific, you can ask specific questions. And then the step number 5 is how do I start? Like where, like how, like, okay, you give me these ideas, but how do I start engaging with my target audience? It's very simple. I mean, if you are into marketing and doing already marketing campaigns, this is simple, but you can go in depth once that you get to know Ramiro and you talk to him. And then it can give you like some ideas. Like you can bounce at the ideas. That's the idea with Ramiro. So create suspenseful content, interactive posts, build a community, collaborate. And then we copy paste. We also can go in depth with a distribution plan. We can create a business plan, a financial plan, a competitive. We can ask them about what are the films that we could that are similar to it, and then how much money made. If the information is out there, public in the internet, it can find it. So, and because it's very specific of films, it will give you that information. So, for example, we have done like some specific competitors before, and it has been very specific and tell us how much money they made. At least in box office, international box office, we cannot find specific numbers for streaming platforms or broadcasts because they don't share those numbers. And so this is in a nutshell what is Ramiro AI. We built Tyler's marketing plan, a very simple one. I wish I could go like deeper, but so Tyler, if you have any comments.
No, of course. I mean, it's really interesting. I mean, I really like this beginning sort of broad aspect. I mean, I wish I had more time to go deeper. I mean, I have to go because it's late where I am and I have a family, some small kids I have to tend to. But I mean, I'm sure if these people, all the other guests that are attending right now, I mean, they may say in the chat, they can, you can go deeper on what we have already, even if I have to walk out. Even though, if you want to spend another 15 minutes going diving into things. I mean, you have the pit, you have the deck, so you have sort of the information, you have the comps that are in there, you have the cast, so you can always kind of dive in if you would like. I mean, if they are interested, because that's the most important. Because it's not
I
just for
mean,
me; it's for everyone. So
if we have 5 minutes, if anyone has questions, I mean, they can unmute yourself and then you can ask any question. And yes, that's okay if you want to jump out, and then I can stay like 15 minutes if you have questions. Does this help with marketing film screenings? Can you clarify more on that?
Yes, hello. My name
Hi.
is S.A. Brown. Thank you so much, you and Tyler, for the information. It's been great. What I do is I'm in Atlanta and I am hosting monthly film screenings where filmmakers can submit their films to me on Film Freeway.
Mm-hmm.
And we screen their films once a month. It's called Film Down Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering, does this AI software work with, is it just marketing films or can you market events?
It will be, I mean, if it's a film event, it will help you. I don't know if we have, I mean, if the information is public, we probably you can, it can help you. Like, for example, it's like very specific in Atlanta. The thing is, with AI, it can give you a lot of answers and it always sounds really certain, but it's up to you as a filmmaker, as a user, to make sure that information is, it's valid, that it exists, that you need to do your research. So, I mean, we can try if you have like a very specific prompt. We can go into Ramiro and try it. Would you advise making multiple
Sure, I'm game
personas?
for that. That's cool.
Yeah, if you write it on the chat, I can copy paste and let's see what
Okay.
Ramiro AI says. So the thing about having an AI tool is that you never know what's gonna answer. It has like its own life. I mean, I more or less know what it will say, but it's like it's very interesting to see the answers as well. Um, would you advise making multiple personas for your audience? I mean, you can change the name, but I wouldn't advise if you are newy. I wouldn't advise to have different personas. I advise to stick to one, and then if you see other kind of audiences having like it's having this approach to the film, then maybe you can have another one. But as a marketeer, you can have 2 or 3 target audiences. But if you are newy and you don't know a lot about marketing, then it will be very difficult for you to like distinguish what is what for which audience. So let's stick to one and see what happens. And there's are there any usage limits, credit based, etc.? What do you mean about the tool? If you pay the monthly payment, it's $39 a month. You can use it. I mean, it's not, you don't have a limit of usage. You don't have a limit. You can save your information, and yeah, so you don't have a limit. So you have 3-day trial, and then if you pay, you have access to it forever, and then you will have access to it if it goes up in price. So that would be the price that you will pay for forever if you stay. Can you run an example with a financial scheme or finance strategy for the project, just to deliver a bit deeper into what Ramiro can offer? Yes, Tyler, I know you need to go, and thank you so much for being here today. It was really nice. It was really fast, actually. Any final thoughts before you leave and say goodbye to us?
no, I mean it's exciting, and I mean the question that Caesar just asked there is a really great question. I actually wish I could stay in and see what happens here, but I'll watch the recording. But that's a really great question, and I think if you're able to dive into that, I think that would be very, very interesting.
Well, if you
Um,
want to stay 5 minutes more, we can
yeah,
do
sure. I think
the.
I can do 5 minutes more.
Okay. So, what do you want me? I can ask. Just let me share again. Tyler, what specific do you want to know about the financial? Just to create a prompt, just to create a.
Well, I guess I'm curious to ask Caesar if he's asking. Are you asking about the financial strategy for the marketing of the project, or the financial strategy and like in the actual financing of the project?
I'm gonna just copy paste what he asked and see what Ramiro says. Because I think can you run an example with a financial scheme or finance strategy for the project? Could you clarify what aspects of the financial scheme or strategy you would like an example for? For instance, crowdfunding strategy, investor pitching, budget allocation, revenue projection. Let me know so I can provide a relevant example.
Yeah, so I'm curious if this is Caesar, if you're asking in terms of for funding. Oh, okay, gotcha.
Investor pitching or a little bit of all of us?
I'm guessing it sounds like you're asking for a strategy in order to reach investors. I don't know if I have no idea if Ramiro, if that's the pool that Ramiro swims in. Since it's just marketing focused.
It's distribution and also the business side.
Yeah. So marketing and distribution.
To craft tailored finance strategy for investors, could you share more details about your project? What is your estimated budget for the thriller? Yes, we haven't shared the budget. Can you share that or it's not?
No, it's because of I'll tell you what it was before and it's changing. But it was a little less than 5 million.
It's 4 million. I'm just gonna put 4 million.
Yeah.
US, right?
Yeah.
Are you looking for equity investors, debt financing, or a mix?
Always a mix.
Do you have any existing financial commitments or partnerships?
Let's say for this, I think it'd be fun to say there are pre-sales, and let's say we've pre-sold territories like Poland, and I'm thinking of a couple other smaller territories. I mean, you can say like Poland and other sort of like tier 3 territories.
Okay, and can you say, just for an example, can you say more or less how much money have you invested already?
Yeah,
it doesn't need to be like the real sum. Like it can be just a made up.
Let's say the pre-sales were 250K at the moment, and we will use the 30% tax credit as debt collateral.
Based on the details you provide, here's a tailored finance strategy for your trailer film. Leverage pre-sales, highlight the pre-sales to Poland and other territories, and proof of market demand. This will attract investors by showing early revenue potential, tax credit as collateral. What you already said. Equity investment, offer equity stakes to investors, emphasizing the 250 already invested as a sign of commitment and viability. Gap financing, use gap financing to cover the remaining budget, backed by the pre-sales and tax credit. Investor pitch, create a compelling pitch deck that includes revenue projections, ROI estimates, and the film unique selling points. I think for you, okay, so tell me what you think.
Yeah, I mean, that's obvious. Exactly. I mean, those are the minimum elements you would need in a pitch deck.
I guess.
Yeah.
The
tricky part is that, I mean, it's not too basic. And no matter what, I mean, those are the minimum elements you would need in an investor pitch deck for sure. And then outside of that, it's project specific for, what your route is. I mean, one of the great things about, what's happening with Ramiro, and I don't know if you touched on it too much, Rosa, but knowing your marketing strategy, knowing one will help you understand how you are going to, get it to your audience, how you could possibly make the ROI that you're estimating in your pitch deck. So knowing distribution and audience, distribution and marketing and all that from the beginning is so important. because an investor is going to want to know like how you plan on in essence, how are you going to make that money back? You're selling a product. So if you're selling the product, what is the market to sell that product? And how do you plan on doing that? And so these kind of tools are very important in the development stage. Having this knowledge is incredibly so very important at this stage in early development, especially even before seeking out financing. You should know exactly how. Not, I mean, not. It doesn't have to be followed like to the T, but very much how you are going to market and distribute your film.
Yes, I completely agree. So it depends of the project to project. What do you need to like? Yes, knowing your audience, knowing who the marketing strategy, it's super important. So this is the finance. I mean, I think it's too broad and it's too like basic. But if you don't know about that, if you don't know how to fund your film, I think this is a great place to start. And then from there, again, you can go deeper. Like, so tell me more about leverage pre-sales. How can I get it? Like, who do you think? I mean, you can even say who I can reach out for this kind of film to sell it, and then it will give you some names on companies. So it's up to you to do the networking, and but it will give you a list of companies that are like you might be interested in buying the film. So we are gonna end here. I think there's another question here. I'm making my directorial debut, but my film is in a niche genre. Wildlife conservation filmmaking in Africa. Will Ramiro be able to help me given that this isn't a very popular genre? Popularly given we want to serve an African audience but resonate globally. Yes, definitely. I mean, if you want to go niche, it can help you with, when we talk about, even if you have a very specific audience.
Sorry, I have
yes,
to go, just so you know. Okay.
Thank you so much. Bye.
You're welcome. Okay, bye.
Even if we have even if we have like a very specific niche audience, the marketing activities are the same. So it's the same thing that you need to do. Like you need to post on social media, for example. You just need to find what kind of social media you want to post in. So it's like I already gave you the audience, you know where to find them, and like okay, then you have the different options, and then maybe you as a production company you have an Instagram. Nowadays everyone is on Instagram, so you go into Instagram and then you start posting there. So you find the activities, and then the activities are very repetitive in marketing. It's not that you're inventing a new marketing campaign. It's the ideas that might be different, the events might be a little bit different, but then the activities inside marketing is like very repetitive. It's the same way as when you make a film, and then you don't know how to make a film in the beginning, and then you practice, right? And then you practice, you get very good at it, and then you do short films, and then you make films. It's the same with marketing. So you just need to practice, and then you need to find where to find your audience. So yes, Daniela already shared again the template, and you have one free month, and you have 1 month for free at Ramiro.ai. So I hope to see you there. And if you have any questions, just let me know before we leave, or we say goodbye. We say goodbye here. You are welcome. Thank you for connecting, and see you next time. Bye.